You're speaking on social media, so obviously, Alex, I know we talked a little off here. I got to ask you about everything. I mean, the shit hit the fan on Friday. I mean, it really did. I'm getting ready to go live on my getting ready to go live on my daily live stream or whatever. And I start going at 12, click go live, whatever. Kinlaw sends this tweet at 12:01 is when that happens. And I was at a loss for words. I had no idea what to say, think about it, whatever. And things have evolved since then. You know, guys have apologized. Some guys have. Kinlaw has not. Two-part question, because I want to put a positive spin on it. I want to ask you, what were your thoughts on what Javon Kinlaw said? But the second thing, because what his statement was, our Gamecock fans are the worst. Give me your interactions with South Carolina fans. What do you remember most? You know, again, you were a Gamecock football player. What do you remember most about Gamecock football fans? What was your experience like?
So I think the best story I could tell was we had and I think I told the story on the podcast before, but we had a open scrimmage in fall practice of 2006, and we offense scored a touchdown like early in the scrimmage, and so there's probably I could never gauge like how many people are actually there, but let's say there's 2,000 people sitting on the home side just watching us scrimmage. And like right after the touchdown happens, all of a sudden a trumpet starts playing the fight song. And this fan had brought a trumpet into the stadium with him, and he played it every time there was a touchdown. Just played the fight song. And I remember I was standing next to Mo Brown when he did it, and he just looked at me and smiled. He's like, man, we've got the best fans in the entire world. And I think that, like, if you look at, to get 80,000 people into that stadium every single weekend during the fall, to have the kind of record that the university has over the last 130 years, I think is a testament to what kind of fan base we actually have. And look, you know, it's been a very tough 5-year stretch, or really 6-year stretch here, you know, ever since the, you know, last 11-2 season, where you've kind of had, you know, it fell off and then it fell off worse. We, you know, the most popular coach that we've ever had, the most successful coach we've ever had, abruptly departs and kind of leaves us in a tough spot. And, you know, we've got this vacancy, we've got, you know, several pretty high caliber candidates lined up to take this job. And then all of a sudden, you know, Will Muschamp's the guy. And I think it would be reasonable to say that most people had a lot of trepidation in that, just given what had happened at Florida. And so you've got that factored in. You know, you have a little bit of success at the front end, and then that falls off a cliff. And it just created this kind of, I don't want to say toxic atmosphere, because people are still showing up, people still love the team, but it creates this divisiveness within it that, you know, you have to remedy somehow. And, you know, you don't want anybody to ever, you know, lose their job or, you know, be cast out as, you know, some untouchable somewhere. But at the same time, like, you've got to turn that around. And, you know, and again, kind of going back to what I said a minute ago, like, being on social media and constantly reading those comments and firing stuff back at people doesn't help that situation at all. And it's really on both sides of that ledger that really need to kind of come to grips with that and understand that the people that are playing this game that you love are kids. And you know what, the kids do and say dumb things. I know I have said all kinds of dumb things when I was their age, and probably still do today. And, you know, to just, you know, we've got to have some sort of accountability on both sides of that ledger to, you know, okay, it was said, it sucks, we didn't like it, but we got to move on. And, you know, if they want to move on and have that opinion forever, I mean, that's sad to me that, you know, you really feel like that. But, you know, the eggs on Twitter don't speak for the entire fan base. And that's what I would say about it.
Yeah, that's well said. Very well said, Alex McGrath. Yeah, I know. It was extremely well said. I'm not sure you maybe saw the video on Twitter as well, where the fan base, and I was there, the fans, a lot of them booed when they showed the
not
picture.
a good look.
And I said, and I agree with you. And I said on social media too, I'm disappointed that they did that. I understand why they did it because they're pissed. Because, hey, when I saw Kinlaw's tweet, I was pissed. I mean, no, they know what. I was pissed. But both sides, I agree, come together, sing Kumbaya. Javon Kinlaw didn't mean what he said. He didn't. If he sits down and he thinks critically, he was tweeting emotionally, and that is the double-edged sword that is social media. And that is, again, there's positives and there's negatives to social media. That's one of the negatives is people get on there, they tweet through their feelings, as they call it, and they say stuff they really probably don't 100% mean. And because, again, it's like, dude, the University of South Carolina gave you a platform to get to where you are now. It wasn't all bad. You can't pretend like it was. But, again, like you said, the eggs, and I've told people, and again, we could go into a whole separate show about this, the culture of Twitter. And I'm somebody that knows firsthand. I've had people tell me to kill myself because my opinion on Gamecock football. I mean, it's absurd. But the maniacs think they're the majority. And like you said, the eggs are not the majority. That's just not the way it is. But if you're not accustomed to that and you see people coming at you, doesn't matter if they have 0 followers or 100,000. Some people, if you're not used to it, you don't know how to react. So, but I agree with you. Both sides. Take a deep breath. Hey, last week was emotional as hell. I mean, every single day was just crazy. Take a deep breath, reevaluate it. I do expect Javon Kinlaw will put out an apology at some point because, I mean, God, I would think the university is going to be in touch with him in some capacity and say, hey, man, this isn't really a good look for us. Like, let's both parties come together against sing Kumbaya and be done with it. But I agree. I think that was very well said, man. I think you put it very well. So
I mean, even if he doesn't,
even if he thinks that, don't say it out loud, right?
Well, I mean, he did. It's over. It's done.
Right.
If he doesn't like formally apologize, I think it's up to us as fans to say, you know what, it was an emotional time. We'll let it go. You left you bled for this university.
Yeah. I think fans should let it go. I agree with you. I think fans should let it go either way.
Let it go.
If he feels that way, it is what it is. Doesn't have to come back, but don't boo it. Don't boo when his picture's on the scoreboard. That's
much.
We don't
need to be doing that.
That's much.
Okay. That's akin to blaming FSU for your COVID troubles.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Dabo has made an ass clown of himself. That is for sure.